give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make.
Yo, I got a lot of shit to say, so I'ma do this every day. I'll be writing things until I'm fucking buried in my grave.
Good day, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Hope you're having a wonderful day. We are buried under mountains of snow here in Wisconsin. Pretty good cleanup job done by local plows. Able to get out. Driveway's nice and clear. I don't know if the garbage men are going to come today or not, but I certainly hope so. I'm at that point where, like, we make enough garbage, even though I burn garbage, that I can't have them miss a week. Like, we're already breaking down all the boxes. We're doing everything we can to minimize it. Cannot have them not show up this week. That would be very bad. You know, I don't know if this happens to you, but it's like always around Christmas time, you end up with like a lot of extra garbage, a lot of extra boxes and all this stuff. Fortunately, where I live, you know, it's really not a big deal to burn your boxes and, you know, burn other things that are in boxes or whatever, you know, as long as it'll burn. Sometimes you're burning boxes and you're like, yeah, I'll throw this blob of plastic in there. What could go wrong? And then it turns out to just be a rock hard block of crap at the bottom of your burn barrel, which you eventually will have to deal with or use your tractor to bury underground.
Well,
Lord of the Reese's Lamau Chunky Yogurt has been rejected from the ballot because, of course, he was not Chunk Yogurt.
We get word that we're bringing folks back on, so I'm going to send
not Chunk Yogurt.
It'd be that email I just said with you.
Dog's appointment was good.
Forgot password, and to let you regenerate your own password.
Huck has a little bit of an allergy, so his like lip gets a little red. But they said it's nothing to be too concerned about, and
it may try and send you that, but it doesn't seem to be working.
We got
electronically.
A little salve to put on there when it flares up, and some Musher's balm for his nose because his nose dries out. Tell you what, German Shepherds are great, but they're also like.
Yeah, the last time we did anything was April.
They have problems, you know, allergies and whatnot. Got a little extra stream today for those who are members of
it works great.
The Basement. So if you haven't yet, make today the day that you join.
To do it on your
phone, have a little extra time.
Yeah, I remember doing it on
together, some tender time. How you get access to that is by simply clicking the basement here. Join my locals. Do that while we're getting through some of today's topics. So you're ready to go when we're ready to go.
Shoot me a text, let me know.
Over to locals. I'd like to see. I think we can do 10 new people signing up today. Let's go. If 10 new people sign up today, I will be very happy.
Welcome, Jared.
Our goal is 5 a day. We almost never do it. But it doesn't mean, just because you don't make your goal one time doesn't mean you quit.
Sorry. Welcome, everybody.
Let's see here. Let's talk a little bit about, what do we want to do? Pedophiles? We want to talk about pedophiles? We want to talk about you joined, but the account didn't link up. Try logging into that link. The drive there was pretty slow. I mean, I have a 4-wheel drive truck, but you know, that still doesn't. It was pretty, you know, it's pretty slippery out there. So it's like, yeah, 4-wheel drive truck's great for getting through high snow or this, that, and the other thing. But when you have like a quarter, you know, inch to a half inch of slush underneath the snow, it doesn't really matter if you have a truck or not. So yeah, just to get everyone prepared, here's the link to the locals live stream, which you can actually join right now while we're live. And then once you join as a member of locals, when I switch it over to members only, you'll be able to access it and we'll do some fun stuff. I also filmed a little vlog for locals members to upload tomorrow. What kind of truck do I have? Just an F-150. All right. Let's get to the news, huh? Good news. Cigarette juice. The gift card winners have been emailed, and most of them have already replied.
You're dirty.
You know, congrats to Super Black Gamer Bros, Caleb, Pac-Man, Chad. I'm not using your full last name here. But yep, most of them have replied. 2 people haven't yet. How many acres am I on? 30 plus. Better have the 5.0. Oh, my friend. Yes, of course, it is the 5.0 V8 Coyote engine. Owning a GSC is a full-time job. Owning 2 is proof of a mental health issue. Owning 3 is I'll let you know if I survive. I also have 3 German Shepherds, so I'll let you know. All right. Boop, 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 ba-da-da-doop, boop, ba-da-da-doop. Lots to talk about. Like, big... I think everyone's getting a little tired of the Jimmy Kimmel stuff. People are kind of... Those videos were, like, guaranteed 200,000 views earlier this week. Now they're barely 100K, so I think everyone's kind of over that. So we're going to change it up a little bit. Have a little fun. Talk about pedos. Who doesn't love talking about pedos? I mean, PDF files.
All right, guys, I really have some work to do while we're listening. So
All right.
drop something. Yell at me in chat if you
Go with
need an interaction.
this one. Okay. A lot of people out there saw perhaps a throwaway joke by Jim Gaffigan on the Golden Globes this past weekend, which poked fun, at essentially the worst kind of humans. You know, when you think of like Hollywood, what's the second word usually put after that? It's kind of creepy. It's, it's a file format. Like, if you ever needed to get a file format, like it's a PDF. But then that's a file, those kind of people. They made a joke about that. Many people on the conservative side, conservative pundits were all sharing that joke like, yeah, Jim Gaffigan totally pwned Hollywood. That's not what happened. He was making fun of you. Jim Gaffigan is a far leftist, a chronic TDS sufferer. One of the few, when you go to TDS, you got Bill Maher, you got that idiot from the intellectual dark web. What was that guy's name? Oh God, every time I see him trending, I'm like, oh, he's saying something stupid again. There's a lot of people, of course. Jim Gaffigan also TDS sufferer, and so no, he wasn't calling it out. He was making a joke about people who think that Hollywood targets kids. But based female actress Ruby Rose, you may have remembered her from a role in John Wick. She was also in a terrible show on the CW called Batwoman, which she quit after I think 1 or 2 seasons because she was smart and she knew the show was terrible. She has spoken out and she has called out for actual justice for those who suffered at the hands of Jeffrey and slams Hollywood elite for making jokes about his crimes. I mean, based. That's kind of all I can say. Ruby Rose unleashed on her Hollywood peers for making jokes about the Jeffrey case following the release of the court papers last week. The Australian actress, 37, took to Instagram stories on Tuesday with an impassioned post calling for his conspirators to face actual consequences. I think we can all relate. We can all kind of understand Ripperoni's Ruby Rose. Can we get a moment? Can we get a moment to honor Ruby Rose for her bold statement? Because that might be the last. I kid, sort of. And so she calls it out, quote, "My 2024 wish is that the people who suffered under this cretin get actual justice, not just a solo woman doing time." I'm talking about Jelaine here, for a massive crime syndicate on young ones by old, disgusting, horrible men. The Orange is the New Black Star wrote. Oh, let's also say this, Ruby. My dog's name is Ruby. But I will say this. Ruby Rose is leaving out that the women were also taking advantage of these people. I mean, his wife was the madam. Is that the word for it? His wife was a recruiter, right? But okay, I'll take this. An imperfect take, but still over target. I'm happy. I definitely will support this. Men in power, men who unwittingly supported, lined pockets, or potentially even voted into positions of power that they had no right to be in, positions that hold the key to our very own human rights and evidently our bodies too. Ruby went on to write that those that suffered under Jeffrey's scheme risked their lives coming forward, while none of those men have been held accountable. She then turned her attention on her fellow Hollywood elite. Hollywood has jokes on social media, TV, and at award shows already. We need more outrage on the issue and less lazy jokes, she lamented. We sure as ass need humor and jokes to get through these days, but let's do better, Ruby concluded. Her mention of the jokes at award shows most likely refers to the joke about Jeffrey made by comedian Jim Gaffigan at the Golden Globe Awards on Sunday night. Gaffigan, who was presenting an award at the glitzy ceremony that nobody watched, strolled on the stage and said, "This is so exciting for me. I can't believe I'm in the entertainment industry. It's so unlikely. I'm from a small town in Indiana, and I'm not one of those people. I don't know if there's a new category here, but I'm shocked." As a shocked celebrity audience awkwardly laughed. Well, I'm not sure that they awkwardly laughed. I think that what Jim Gaffigan was doing, at least in my view here, is that he was telling you right to your face that he's surrounded by these creeps and there's nothing you can do about it. You know, he's surrounded by all these people. They think you're stupid. They think you're some country bumpkin for assuming that they're all into this stuff. Meanwhile, there's like skin cream made out of foreskins or something like that. I don't know. So I thought I read something like that somewhere. Actors Leonardo DiCaprio, Cate Blanchett, Cameron Diaz, Bruce Willis and along with Naomi Campbell, prompting DiCaprio, Diaz, and Blanchett to deny any involvement with him. Some of the people named were associates, friends, or on the receiving end of the bad behavior. But the vast majority were named in evidence by witnesses who said they had no links to the creep at all. Well, I guess if that's what you want to believe, I don't know what else to do. You know, but I do think that it's very, I have to give her credit here. You know, I have to give her credit here because, you know, she is actually taking a bold position here. Now, I wouldn't exactly call her A-list. I'm not sure if she's even working in Hollywood anymore after quitting Batwoman. Because when she quit that show, I think she went out pretty rough. Ruby Rose slams the Batwoman and says that she endured toxic workplace environment where she was forced to return to work 10 days after a severe injury. You know, I don't know what that even means. Does that mean she, turned her ankle and then she just had to come sit in a chair? I don't know. But this is somebody who has really had no problem putting Hollywood kind of on blast. The actress also blasted her boss for making a return to Batwoman 10 days after emergency spinal surgery to avoid paralysis because the executive refused to delay or write her out of the show. The actress said that there were threats to shut down the show and fire the rest of the cast and crew because her recovery was losing the studio, quote, millions of dollars. I'm pretty sure she ended up suing them. I can't be 100% positive, but I do think she ended up suing them. And then they replaced her. It was already a chick and she was gay. And then they replaced her with a black chick and made it gay and lame. I don't think she's, I guess you could probably say her big role was Orange is the New Black. I suppose that's like reasonable. I just remember there's one thing like about the John Wick movie, and even really her fight scenes in Batwoman were also hilarious. But, look, I love John Wick. Just like Jurassic Park, the order of best to worst Jurassic Parks are the same as the order of best to worst John Wicks. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4. It's everyone is never as good as the one before it. I wish they would stop making John Wicks, but that's neither here nor there. This last John Wick was just a mess. But the John Wick in which she was in, going like John Wick single-handedly overpowers like 10 dudes at once, and then he has a hard time in hand-to-hand combat against this chick. Like, I can't stand that. You can write it in. You give people a superpower. You could give her a mechanical suit. You could give her different types of advantages. Like if you look at, even John Wick, it's like, oh, these people are, firing rounds all over the place. Oh, well, he has a suit. I'm supposed to believe that nobody can get a headshot. He's up against the best henchman on the planet. Nobody can get a headshot. You know what? I'm fine because he has his fancy suit, and his fancy suit is apparently impenetrable and nobody can get a headshot. But that's all I need. That's all I need. So for a woman to like get into hand-to-hand combat with John Wick or with any man, like watching Queen Latifah at like 70 years old and 80 pounds overweight punch people through the wall, I can't do that. Hollywood is unwilling to do like just the bare minimum to make it to keep our interest. But that's a side rant. Again, people think that Gaffigan was roasting Hollywood. He wasn't. He was laughing at you. And even other people in Hollywood, in this particular case, Ruby Rose, knew it. Ruby Rose says, don't make any more jokes about it. Why don't we get some justice? And, I stand with her and I support that. Now, whether she ever works in Hollywood again, I suppose that will remain to be seen. But I applaud her coming out and calling it for what it is. John Wick 4 was at least fun. Barely. It was like the stupid blind. Why do they have to make the antagonist blind? That was like the dumbest shit. Like, I'm supposed to believe what is he? Daredevil? That was so dumb. And then he's like fighting and competing physically when he's completely blind on the same level as John Wick. Hated that. Hated it. Ripperooski's John Wick with that fourth movie. That was very poor. It's like stabbing a knight in the back. You don't shoot a fellow assassin in the head. I don't know, but that's true. Because when they had William Dafoe, he was lining up plenty of headshots. Yeah, John Wick 4. People don't want to say it because everyone loves Keanu Reeves, but John Wick 4 sucked. Like the big one. John Wick 4 had the best action scene. Which one? The entire movie was an action scene. You got no dialogue, no storytelling. You didn't build up any of the characters. It was just non-stop action scene. Just didn't work for me. Like, think about the first John Wick and all the exposition that it had. You know, you learned about the characters. You learned this and that and the other thing. By the time we got to the fourth one, it was just like a 2-hour gunfight. By the way, this stream, huge shout out, is sponsored by Field of Greens. Resolving to eat better this year, the easy way. Actually doing it, not so easy. Better nutrition is a key to health and longevity, and a healthy diet could even help you avoid health risks that run in your family. Field of Greens is my healthy superfruit and vegetable habit. It's true. And the only fruit and vegetable product that literally promises better health. At your next checkup, your doctor will notice your improved health or your money back. Do your vitamins or green drinks promise better health? Nope. Each superfruit and vegetable in Field of Greens and was doctor selected for a specific health benefit. Some support your heart, lungs, and kidneys. Others support metabolism for healthy energy and weight loss. If you're resolved to get healthier in 2024, it starts with Field of Greens. I've got you 15% off on your first order. Visit fieldofgreens.com and use promo code TheQuartering, one word. That's promo code TheQuartering at fieldofgreens.com. That's fieldofgreens.com. And hey, it's cold and flu season. It's definitely something worth trying. I mean, you can see their product. It has 6,500 reviews, nearly perfect 5 stars, 5,000 of the other ones of this other product, the Wildberry. I prefer the Wildberry to the greens, but, you know, it's whatever you're into. It's always good to boost your immune system. And why not, you know, if you can avoid getting sick this winter, I think that's probably a good thing. So promo code TheQuartering to save. 2 hours later, 1 million bullets spent, 1,000 vehicles destroyed, 150 people died with no new storyline equals shit movie. Yeah. I agree. Afternoon, Jack. Now, this is an interesting thing. Do you guys know what localizers are? Localizers are people whose jobs it is to take like popular anime that is generally in Japanese and revoice it for the West, for English, as long as English is in the West, I suppose. The Field of Greens link is in the description, by the way, too. That's all fine. That's a fine thing. The problem is when they wokeify it up and they inject their own personal politics into it. And that's exactly what's going on. Let's talk about that next. Look, I don't know if you're a fan of like anime or, or manga or any of these other type of shows that you might see over in the East that are extremely popular. Or you could quite frankly say, you know, shows like Squid Games and shows that are very popular and created in other languages that end up getting created for the West. This involves a process called localizing. This has been going on the other direction for many years, where the United States actually used to make good entertainment, and then it would get sent out to other countries, and they would have local people there revoice it and, you know, use their slang. So it would make more sense. It's like the dubs. It's why subs are always superior to dubs, because dubs, they always put their own like spin on it, and oftentimes you lose the meaning. Well, we now have a big, for years, by the way, these localizers, these people who have nothing to do with the original product, but want to put their marchy, okay? Former Funimation scriptwriter, James Marchi doubles down on her infamous anti-patriarch localization of Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. This is what happens when a script is dubbed into a different language. So as again, so you have a show that people love. In this particular case, Miss Kobayashi's Dragon's Maid, or it might be whatever it is that you might be into for anime. But it's some local loser who's like, well, actually, let's make sure we make this all SJW. And let's make sure we put some Slay Queen in it. The thing is, in the East, there's a huge push at like South Korean cinema, stuff from the East right now is because it's not full of woke crap. As a discourse against Western localization industry, again, this is just adapting for a modern audience, stuff that's already beloved, so there's no need for it. Former Funimation scriptwriter Jamie Marchi has kicked off her new year by doubling down on her intentional and now infamous botching of Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid's English language dub. The latest round of localizer discourse arose after Bushiroad's works announced that in order to circumvent piracy, it would begin using a hybrid of AI technology and human editors to provide in-house English simulpubs, I assume maybe that means dubs, for their manga series, The Ancient Magus Bride, which I'm guessing means no more work for voice actors, mid-tier voice actors in the West. Following an announcement, some fans admitted that while not ideal, the use of AI would potentially allow them to receive more accurate translations of their favorite works. However, Western localizers took the news as an insult, many of them ironically upset that their work, which is often riddled with socio-political screeds and tired memes, was not being respected. So again, just so you understand, whoa! I need to scroll down so you actually listen to me here. For years, these people who have nothing to do with the creation of anything have put their spin on it, which just involves cramming leftist ideology into it. That's just how it actually is. All the people that do this are leftoids, and they cram it into there, and it's immersion breaking and garbage. As with every such round of localization discourse, the battle over the West's handling of Japanese work led to the aforementioned controversial dub of Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. As per the course with every localization discourse, the controversial, otherwise known as the defining moment of the entire botched Japanese to English localization phenomenon was put back into light. The moment in question occurs in the 12th episode of the series' first season, and is based on the scene in the likewise numbered caption. The original manga, where the good-natured and well-endowed former Aztec dragon goddess, better known as Lukoa, makes a conscious decision to cover up her voluptuous body following comments towards the fact made by the aforementioned Taru. I don't know, I probably screwed up both of those names. Per a fan translation of the manga, after taking this comment to heart, she attempts to cover herself up with a sweater, informing a friend during a later surprise visit, "Look at these clothes. I made sure to tone down the body exposure." Okay. Taking a note of the Aztec dragon god's impossible to hide bust, an unimpressed person responds to the change, requesting, "It would be nice if you could change the body next time." Oh, because she's got gigantic bazongas. Even though the notorious Seven Seas, who recent manga localizations have been among the most controversial across the entire medium, kept the playful spirit of dragons' interactions in their version of the story. I don't really care what the main problem is here. Blah, 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 blah.
I'll definitely play that.
But then you end up
video.
a situation where she changed it to make it her own. The English dub, Marchi used her former role as Funimation scriptwriter. Her filmography does not list any script credits past her work on Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid to replace the original story with her own flavor and feminist virtue signaling. Here, she asks why she changed her outfit, and she says, "Oh, those pesky patriarchal societal demands were getting on my nerves, so I changed the clothes." Wow, that's so cool. Well, of course, Jamie Marchi. Then, woke localizer scandal heats up. Jamie Marchi wants to cancel Asmongold over criticism. You see, putting on reading glasses and holding up a spiral notebook, Marchi began imitating Asmongold's response to a previous allegation word for word, with added snark, "Who gives an S?" Okay. Asmongold found himself thrust in a long-time war of anime fans versus woke localizers when he stumbled upon a YouTube video by anime commentator Rev Says Disu. When his chat explained the issue of localizers rewriting stories, he remarked, well, then they're not localizers, they're just liars, right? I mean, it's not your job to rewrite the story, which I 100% agree. Rev briefly highlighted the changes to Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid dialogue, initially doubtful of the stark contrast between the original Japanese and the English script. Asmongold was stunned after listening to the English version. He began to tear into it. This is so outrageous. It's like I refuse to effing believe it, but it's right here in front of me. There it is. Asmongold then criticizes localizers for trying to abuse their position to do something they're not being paid to do, which is what I think most people agree. While watching the 2018 video panel, he replied, how do you do something like this and not think you're an effing idiot? It actively makes everything else she does, even retroactively, suspect. It makes everybody think, wait, so if they were able to change the meaning of this, then what about all the other stuff she worked on? Is that the same thing? When Marchi compared her critics to Nazi Germany, Asmongold couldn't believe it. It's so insane to me. You're comparing changing an effing Coomer anime to Nazis. This is a 46-year-old, and she's acting like she's 4 to 6 years old. It's sad. The thing is, obviously, she's bothered by it, and it's okay that she's bothered by it. I think it would make sense that she's bothered by it. Naturally, you would be. Why can't we just have a conversation about whether this is good or not? Why does it have to be so personal? So, of course, she then immediately plays the victim. Yes, a dude with over 2 million followers makes me a target to those followers. He then made a video mocking the harassment he caused. That's totally reasonable to you because I might be insufferable. Was he not allowed to talk about things? This is the standard, like, censorious. I mean, just so to bring it back to, like, so you guys understand what I'm talking about. This is censorship. This is Western weirdos forcing their own political ideology. In almost every single case, it is far leftist leaning crap. In almost every single scenario. Forcing it on art that they don't own, that they didn't create, and they're just injecting it. Their job is to make sure that people who don't speak Japanese understand what they're saying and what they're meaning. The original comic mentioned nothing about the patriarchy. They can't create anything. So then she puts out this video, and, like, you know, my response to some of Asmongold's followers. This was just a few days ago.
Regarding his involvement with soft giving and their controversy, I thought it's only fair that I respond to his followers in kind. Well, who gives a shit? Somebody makes an allegation against me and now somehow I have to respond to it? No, I don't have to say anything. Who gives a fuck? Thank you for your time.
Another perfect example for creating absolutely nothing. That was her big response. It's not her job. Okay, it's not her job to change the story and force, like, SJW politics into it.
Usually all those are
She hilariously says she doesn't have to respond to anything, but she absolutely is responding to it, and she's having a melty about it. Don't, you know, this is why all this stuff, I mean, this is what the original clip was that started, like, that shows where her head's at.
It's a stroll of power, and I appreciate it.
Well, I'm kind of scared to ask this question now because I don't want to bring down the room. So
okay.
This is more directed at Jamie, but all of you can answer.
Go, Jamie, go. I'm excited
like,
about it. I'm ready to bring down the room. Let's do it. We need
a
spotlight.
So Funimation has come under, let's call it, criticism for how they choose to adapt their scripts for
like
a couple
unnecessary
of shows.
hate. Yeah, got it.
Yeah, and a lot of that I feel is directed at you unfairly.
Thank you.
So how would you like to respond to that kind of criticism?
To the criticism, like, I have a vagina, deal with it.
Oh yeah, all your criticisms are totally just because I'm a woman. I'm right because I have a vagina. That's who this person is. So yeah, I'm not going to really take anything they say seriously. I mean, she was caught changing original content, and then she just blames it on you know, sexism, because that's her only card to play. I can't wait till these losers are out of work, literally. Can't the Japanese company sue her for changing the story for when they paid her to only translate? I think so, Jack. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the rules are. You know, like if it's that they own the license. Ruby is a bitch. Now I'm talking about the dog or the human. Yeah, my dog Ruby is a bitch, but she's a sweet girl. I just think how Google co-founder Sergey Brin and his ex-wife, who also runs 23andMe, spent some time on Epstein's pedophile island. No big deal. Everyone already knew that. How about Twitch? Ugh. She's just an old, overweight Frost.
I got your message, Chopper.
I just think that, like, it's really none of... I mean, I think when your job is... They're saying, like, hey, your job is to make sure people in the West, like, understand, you know, the message of, you know, they get the translation of the show properly. That doesn't mean, like, cram leftist ideology into it. Yeah, big news. The wellness company just signed a $6 million advertising deal with Rumble. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's a nice little advertising block. It's going to help a lot of creators.
Hey, JC, Chopper.
Going to help a lot of creators. Quartering, have you played any good official Magic the Gathering tournaments lately? I've been playing a lot of Khans of Tarkir Limited, actually. One of my all-time favorite limited formats. That's what I've been playing most of the time. Yeah, so that's good. Let's talk about Twitch laying off nearly 40% of their staff. Uh-oh, Pescadios. I don't know if they're going to run any ads with me. I ran an ad with them, and then they didn't run any more ads with me. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. The way my deal is structured with Rumble is I don't really get paid to do ad reads. It's just a part of my contract with them, which is fine. You know, it's good. The more money flowing into Rumble for other creators and creators in general, that's a huge W. By the way, we will be doing an extended stream at the end of the show today over on Locals. I'm going to leave a link to it in chat right now. You can actually open the stream there too, hang out in the Locals chat. But there that is. If you want to get access to that, make sure you join the basement. It's just my Locals group. It's $5 a month. We do 2 pieces of content per week. Today I'm going to do a Locals only stream. Just an extension. We'll cover some other topics. Tomorrow or Friday I'll upload a standalone video, 2 Locals, maybe a little vlog, a little tour of my RC room, maybe something maybe interesting like that. You can join just by clicking the basement button here. And it's $5 a month, or if you go annual, you get 2 months free. I hope you support me, because it would be really neat if you did. New story. I don't know if you've been following what's going on in the streaming world, but I certainly have been. There's been a lot going on in terms of what, where people are at. Just earlier today, someone with like 100,000 YouTube subs just got permanently suspended. There's a lot of people moving around. there's new competitors out there. For a long time, it was basically only Twitch, and then YouTube became a viable live streaming alternative. So then it was Twitch and YouTube. Then Rumble came along, and Kick came along, and BitChute and Odyssey came along. And there's a ton of new alternatives. People can stream on X, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever they want to do. There's more options than ever right now. And the wokest of the platforms is, of course, Twitch. And I'm sorry to report that they are about to lay off nearly 40% of their staff. Leave a like button to spit. I say this because I don't hold any particular ill will towards anyone directly at Twitch, but I can tell you that they have wild double standards for content creators, in particular ones that create content like mine that discuss, I would say, non-narrative content. Every major content creator, every major streamer on Twitch, with a few exceptions, is far left-leaning. Openly far left-leaning. Those are the ones that get the promotion. Those are the ones that get put on the front page. It's either that or whores. It's one of the two things. It's leftoids or whores. Or when you have the intersection of leftism and whorism, that's the real trifecta on Twitch. But now it was announced that nearly 40% of the Twitch staff is going to be fired. Amazon's Twitch cut 500 employees, about 35% of the staff. Move is designed to stem losses after 2 rounds of layoffs last year. This is their 3rd round of layoffs. Twitch just isn't making any money. And here's the problem. As people get popular on Twitch, they start to look at the revenue split. So there's 3 ways really a streamer can make money, primarily. First and foremost is subs. That is, people pay $5 a month. For example, if you're watching me on Rumble and you subscribed on Rumble and it's $5 a month. For now and for all of 2024, I get all $5. I get all $5 of that. Rumble takes none of it, which is amazing. You go to Amazon, Twitch takes half, 50% of it. So you can get subscriptions. You can get tips, which is very hard to rely on. You know, even wherever I am, YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, Odyssey, you can't really rely on tips. So you have subscriptions, which is the big one. That's your base, kind of your income. Twitch, you can run ads or you can read ads. So there's more than just a few, but really you have ads, tips, and subscriptions. Ads being, you know, you run them for Twitch or you do your own live reads, which is I often do. Here's the thing. Once streamers get big, here's what they start to say. Well, they don't want to run ads because they don't make enough money from it. And it annoys their viewers, and they lose viewership. The viewership is what big streamers use to get bigger ad read deals. Whether they're doing live reads for maybe Field of Greens or whatever, they might be doing a live, you know, read for that, promo code the quartering to save. You want to have live, you know, average live viewers. Like once I get to 10,000, right now I sit between 4,000 and 6,000 live viewers every day on my Rumble show. I started at 2,000, so I've more than tripled, and that's awesome. But when I get to 10 or 15 or 20,000, then people pay you more. So anyway, without getting in the weeds about that, essentially, once big streamers get big, sorry, I was all over the place there. Once streamers get big, they want to leave the platform, or they want to negotiate a better deal for themselves. So right now, there are just better options. People could just leave Twitch. Before, people couldn't leave Twitch. YouTube still takes 30%.
So
Twitch takes 50%. You go to Rumble right now, and they take 0%. I'm pretty sure Kick takes 5%. I think it's 95.5. So if you already have an audience, if you already have viewers, you have no reason to stay on their platform. Why are they taking half of your money? You can just leave with your viewers. And we've seen that. We've seen lots of big streamers go to Kick, lots of big streamers go to Rumble, lots of big streamers go to YouTube, because why would they don't need the, if your viewers will generally go with you in some percentage. Well, Amazon continues to stay on this 50-50 nonsense that is completely outdated and is insane. And they're not growing anymore. And their big creators don't want to run ads. And their small creators don't make them any money. Why do you think right before this layoff happened, why do you think they just allowed artistic unclothedness? Why do you think Twitch allowed that like a week ago? It's because they're desperate. They're crumbling. They had 2 rounds of layoffs last year and then another massive round of layoffs today. Twitch is laying off more than 500 employees. Twitch CEO Don Clancy announced this morning, reportedly accounting for 35% of its staff. Bloomberg first reported that the video game streaming platform was planning layoffs on Tuesday, and the company confirmed that the cuts were happening. Quote, I regret to having to share with you, we're taking a painful step to reduce our headcount by over 500 people, Clancy wrote, which is a lot. You have less than 2,000 people that work there. In March of 2023, Twitch cut 400 people as part of a larger layoff as parent company Amazon cut 18,000. Additionally, several Twitch executives, including Chief Product Officer Tom Varelli, Chief Customer Officer Doug Scott, and Chief Content Officer Laura Lee, all announced they were leaving the company. Last month, the company also announced that it would cease operation in South Korea, citing prohibitively expensive network fees. The service is set to shut down in the country on February 27th. In the announcement, Clancy noted that Twitch paid out over $1 billion to streamers last year, remarking that while Twitch business remains strong, for some time now, the organization has been sized based upon where we're optimistically expected our business to be in 3 or 4 more years, not where we are today. That sounds like a lot of CEO spin. If they paid out $1 billion, then that means they brought in $2 billion, roughly. This is the thing. Twitch is not as cool as it once was. People go to Rumble. Yes, I know people predominantly think it's political talk, but I stream on Rumble and I'm talking about Twitch right now in front of over 5,000 people. There are people who stream on Twitch, who aren't all political. There's lots of new options for people. So for people like me, you don't have to automatically think about going to Twitch anymore. For annoying 14-year-old attention-seeking douchebags, you have Kick. It's a great option for them. If you want to go in public and harass people and live stream it and stuff like that, you have Kick because Twitch would probably have banned you. But overall, what we have is another leftist dinosaur in new tech or in technology in Silicon Valley space that is completely out of date. You have places like Rumble willing to give 100% of the money back to creators. You have places like Kick, which has more lax rules. You have places like YouTube, which takes less than Twitch and still has a large audience to try and get discoverability for. I mean, you got guys like Dr. Disrespect who left Twitch under mysterious circumstances a couple of years ago now. He's still thriving on YouTube. He's still thriving. He's growing. Things of that nature. You look at Rumble. Yeah, it's a lot of politics, but it's not like that's what Rumble wants. The gaming category is growing here. Things of that nature. There's more like survival channels and 2A channels and all sorts of stuff going on here. And a year from now, who can say?
A second shift.
But we do know that while Twitch has bent the knee,
if you want to,
Twitch has been more interested in bringing in the thought business.
Not at the mix plan.
Allowing 14-year-old boys to be introduced to the OnlyFans pipeline, then building their technology,
they do
then
it
securing high-quality talent, then figuring out how to pay their bills.
So if you want to, just go ahead and shoot.
Now they're having massive layoffs, and I couldn't care less. I think this is a great time in the new tech market. Yes, of course, I stream on Rumble every single day at 1 Eastern, Monday through Friday. But I still want Kick to succeed. And I want Odyssey to succeed, and I want BitChute to succeed, and I want X to succeed, and I want
And I'll get you
Truth
pulled up
to
in the
succeed
system,
and
and I'll
Gab
get
to
you sent
succeed,
over,
and
some
every
at least
possible new
preliminary
tech
terms and stuff like
option
that to
out
get
there.
taken care of.
Mine's,
So
I
when
want
you do
all
come
of
in,
this
it'll only be
stuff
just those, few
to
features.
succeed because
All right.
all of it
All right.
weakens YouTube
And
and
like I
Twitch,
said, I will reach
which
out
have
to you as soon
a
as they start
still
calling for more
virtual
people.
monopoly on streaming. It's getting better.
You're welcome.
You know, if you're a streamer and you get banned off Twitch, you can go right to Kick or Rumble and or YouTube and start up tomorrow and bring most of your viewers over. It wasn't that way. You know, I've been doing this a long time. It wasn't that way 5 years ago. Heck, it wasn't even that way a year ago. Now you've got, you know, Twitch, Kick, Rumble, you know, Facebook, X. You've got a bunch of options. And so, you know, I think Dr. Disrespect's getting the last laugh there for sure. And, you know, I think multi-platform streaming is more popular than ever now. Twitch used to keep these guys. You used to have to stream exclusively to Twitch, which was stupid. Anybody who creates content, you know, unless you have an exclusive deal. Like I have an exclusive deal with Rumble for this show, but any other live stream I do, I'll stream everywhere. You know, X, YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, as every possible place in 2024. Anytime I live stream, and it's not one of my, you know, contractual shows on Rumble, it's going to be everywhere. And anybody who doesn't do that is a moron. And so people are building audiences other places, and they don't need Twitch anymore. And you see, you know, we haven't heard a lot of deals, right? When's the last time we heard some big name deal signed by anyone of these? They don't need them. Their existence and the technology and the audience that they're building is far more important. And, you know, I'm glad to see Twitch weakening. Do I think Twitch is going to close down? No, of course not. But I do think they're weak. And I think that I'm happy for that. Any weakening to YouTube and Twitch is good for free speech. Jackass, what percentage of your YouTube viewers followed you to Rumble? I would say about 10%.
Okay.
I'd say about
Are
10%.
you looking for a position out that way?
I would say,
Okay.
you know, if you look at my,
Okay. Now, was that through Indeed?
if
or
you
was
look
that
at like my
our
average
website?
video views on YouTube,
Okay,
like a
super.
good video does
All right,
about
let me get your
125,000,
info, and I'll shoot it over to
and
Derek,
like a
who's
good
running that
video
office.
on,
I'll probably have him reach out to you.
like a good video
What's your
on, Rumble will do like 20,000. So it's definitely getting better. And by the way,
Spell your last
like,
name.
Rumble kind of has its own audience. Like I've definitely gotten
And,
Rumble
this number's
subscribers
good to
who
call you
were
back
never
at?
on YouTube.
All right. I'll reach out to Derek and
You know,
have him give you a call.
because of my deal with Rumble, they put me on the homepage in the middle of the day, and that means I get to meet a lot more people. You know, I bet you there's people in chat that you know, never watch me on YouTube.
I've
And
never
so
seen anybody get
I'm happy to
suspended
be,
not
and I'm
permanently
happy
kicked
to have
off
gotten a
as
deal
much
with the
as you.
Rumble. I may have been one of the last ones to get one. I don't think they're going to be signing anybody else. You know, I bet you they won't like renew my deal. I'm sure they'll want me to like stay. But Rumble's building something like where they're going to have 40, 50, 60, 70 million users. And they're not going to need to pay people to stream here. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the future I want for Rumble. So, you know, when my contract is up in next June, not this coming up one, but I think I signed it for 2 years. Like, I'm planning on not getting any kind of any kind of contract. But I'm hoping by then I have 25, 35,000 people tuning in every day over lunch hour. That's why, I mean, I have not missed a single day of work since I signed that contract. Not one single day. I have been here every single day. I have not missed a single day because it's that important to me. Being able to have, you know, an audience here on Rumble is extremely important to me because I believe in new tech and I believe that, you know, YouTube is on the way out. I'm not one of those people that only comes running to Rumble after they get banned off YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you, Mega Forever. I'm not one of those people that came here. Oh, no, I got banned off YouTube. Oh, suddenly I give a shit about Rumble. I've been here from the start. Let's see here. Here, so we talked about this. Let's see. We talked about, I don't know, Howard Stern had a meltdown. What's
World War
new?
I or World War II? Good question.
Talked about that.
Good question. Because there was so many different.
Did you guys catch this morning?
2 different wars, and the technology was so much different.
Gentlemen, time's expired. Chair recognizes Ms. Green from Georgia for 5 minutes.
Oh, time to go.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Excuse
you
me,
don't have to pick
Hunter.
a side.
Apparently,
Just
you're
which
afraid
war?
of my words.
Whoa!
Probably.
Oh.
I'd like to reclaim my time, Mr. Chairman.
Burst their bubble. Wow,
Aaron,
that's too
remember we
bad.
timed you out last time you started this crap. You need to
He
stop.
got up out of there real quick, didn't he?
Well, yeah, I wouldn't. If
He got up out of there real
Boy, you had to
quick.
pick one of the two. Probably World War One.
Ricky said, Jeremy's also been good for Rumble, unlike
And Aaron,
people
we're not
like
gonna,
Steve
we're
will
not gonna
do it.
this,
I don't know who that is.
Self-doxing crap today. Just letting you know now.
I think I am good for Rumble in
Stop it.
in the fact that I'm not like a
You'll be
hardcore
gone.
political guy,
I'm
you
just gonna
know.
remove that
So people
message.
come to the show and they're like, "Oh, it's a talking head," but he's not like, Civil War, Trump, blah 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 blah. There's also this clip, which is genius.
Quiet and let me make a statement, okay?
What kind of crack do you normally smoke, Mr. Biden?
Did you hear that guy in the background?
Quiet and let me make a statement,
What kind
okay?
of crack do you normally smoke, Mr. Biden?
What kind of crack do you normally smoke, Mr. Biden? Hey, shout out to the King of Biltong. Good afternoon from Anton's in Roanoke, Texas. Free shipping for your Biltong using code THEQ. alandofbiltong.com and antonusa.com. Get yourself some healthy meat. Snacks, that is, for keto/carnivore diet. That's right. It's good stuff. What kind of crack is it that you smoke, Mr. Biden? Oh, come on. Come on.
Man, X has had some issues today with playing videos. Every
Kinks or glasses and a blunt
I'm
for that
done
man.
today.
Yeah, right. We need to
X
find
videos.
the camera angle where he's in there. So it's like dun 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 da 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 da. Come on, play. Damn you, Twitter. I had some other stuff. I don't know if I wanted to do a whole 10-minute monologue on this, but I kind of thought last time we were on the show, and I was like,
Willy von Stoop.
those videos on Twitter won't play anywhere. Oh, is that thing? Okay. There's this, racist piece of shit. Hold on a second. Let's see. Ba, 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 ba. What do you guys got going on this weekend? Tell me your store eyes, Lots to talk about for Sheezy Mineezy. Snow. Isn't it supposed to snow again? I think it's supposed to snow again. Right? It's supposed to snow again Friday. At least here in Wisconsin it is. I believe. Da, 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 da. Working on a rock wall. Are you talking about like sheetrock or? Talking about like, what are we talking about here? Now I want to know rock wall. It's also supposed to be, I think it's supposed to be super duper duper cold, isn't it? Next week Monday.
Sunday.
There's supposed to be like a
15
mega
degrees, high of 15 Sunday.
like a mega snowstorm. I'm sorry, cold snap. Pretty sure.
Tuesday, a high of 7.
If I'm correct. La 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 la. Gig at a bar on Saturday, nice. Arctic Blast, is that what they're calling it now? Arctic Blast? Trying to find my stupid let's see.
Yeah, it's without the wind too. That's just a straight temperature.
Da, 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 da. Cold temp here is 40. Oh, that must be nice. Yeah, I that would be nice. Rumble's asking me for go here. Fire to blast. Just beg winters. Oh, don't even start thinking about the end of winter. Don't even start thinking about the end of winter. Don't even think about it.
I've noticed that
it ain't happening.
Rather than having warmer winters, I just think the seasons are kind of rotating a little bit. I mean, we keep getting more and more snow in late April and sometimes in May. That really never happened when I was
In the South, we call them blue northers. I had some other, I want to pull up some other clippies. Wow, wow. Oh no, Jordan Peterson. No. Oh no. Oh, Jordan, no. Jordan, no. Jordan, no. Jordan. Jordan, no. No. Jordan.
Stop egging them on.
What do you think of the
30.
Rabbit R1? I don't even know what that is. The Volkswagen Rabbit? Or is it a sex toy? Oh, the Rabbit R1 Assistant. Is that kind of like the next version of the flapper thing? Oh, the Jew tunnels. No, Jordan. Ah, Jordan. No. I love you, Jordan, but no. Let's see here.
Like to get New York City more resources to handle the influx of citizens to be, as I like to call them, immigrants, we should totally raise the taxes on apartment owners. And if they raise rent on current residents, we'll raise taxes again. The residents have citizen privilege, which is a form of white supremacy. That means they're probably racist and homophobic.
How can you tell this is not a meme? Jordan, no. Jordan, no.
It's got Alex Stein in the background. Come on, picture Alex.
Do I make the video?
Of course it's fake.
Do I make the video? Jordy, no. My Jordy, no. Oh. Cowardly troll demons. I'm trying to find that original tweet. Is that still up? Jordy, no. Papa Jordy, no. No. All right, let's talk about it. This is my creative process in real time you're seeing. Jordy, no. Jordy. Every time I make a video making fun of Jordan, everyone gets butthurt.
See if he sticks around for the 5 minutes that the
All right.
sub counter is waiting for now.
Now, I think that Jordan B. Peterson is a great man.
A 5-minute timeout.
I think that Jordan B. Peterson has done
many
good things, in particular for young men
Believe in yourself.
out there looking for some direction. Certainly, women too, I suspect, are fans of Jordan B. Peterson. But Jordan B. Peterson really has to stay off Twitter. I don't think it's good for him. And every once in a while, he goes on these weird screds. If you remember the anonymous troll demons thing, where he's basically doing the BoomerCon take, I actually think that Nikki Haley also had. I believe Nikki Haley also said that everyone should have to have an identification to be using the internet, and that you shouldn't be allowed online anonymity. Everything Jordan Peterson says, for the most part, about being a good man, taking responsibility, and historical culture is generally good. But his takes on technology are very poor. His takes on anonymity are very poor. And now, are we talking about going to jail for a meme? Some people are pointing out that that's what he's implying here. And I hope that he provides some additional context to this. But Jordy, no. Jordy, no. He's responding to a meme of AOC, which we're going to take a look at. That is an obvious fake. Okay. And let me actually acknowledge this, though. Let me acknowledge this. Again, big fan of Jordan B. Peterson. I do think he should stay off Twitter. 99.999% of the criticisms that are for Jordan Peterson happen because of things he does on Twitter. He'd basically be untouchable. He would just stay off Twitter. But there is a very serious conversation to be had around, you know, deep fakes. In particular, we're going to see we're going to see in 2024 in the presidential election, we're probably going to see a lot of very convincing things like this, right? And I also think it's important that, again, can't always agree on everything. After all, Jordan B. Peterson is a boomer. So he's probably going to have boomer takes on technology. You know, I think that's okay, though. The rest of his takes are all very good. But he responds to a meme, which we're going to take a look at here. And it says, if this is real, we're in trouble. It isn't real. If it isn't real, we're in even more serious trouble. People who produce deep fakes are committed to the virtual equivalent of kidnapping. I mean, again, like, it's literally posted on a meme account. A meme account posted it. Everybody knows it's a meme. But go back. Remember when my voiceover guy did that CNN meme? And it was like everyone that watched my channel, everyone who watched my channel was like, haha, that's hilarious meme, you know? But the mainstream media was like, oh my God, the quartering produced doctored footage of war, and he's spreading misinformation. And it was like, what? No. Anyway, he continues. And should be punished to the maximal extent of the law for producing a meme. This is a stunningly dangerous technology. It's not satire. It's identity theft, plain and simple. It should be treated as a serious crime. What? Now, let's talk about, there is some levels of this, right? Let's say the Biden administration, or even the Trump administration, or the Trump campaign, or the Biden campaign, runs an ad on TV, okay? And the ad on TV is a fake, right? And they pay money to smear somebody's reputation. I would argue that that is a crime, right? I would agree with Jordan there. That if you are doctoring and making it appear as if your political opponent, or really, I guess anybody, if you create it to, like, and you know, for political stuff like that, you don't disclose that it's a meme, okay? But this was posted on DeFranzer Memes, a friend of mine. If you look at the video, I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. He watched this video. Just look at it. On the video, you can see it says fake meme satire. It's literally on the thumbnail. It also says DeFranzer Memes. By the way, follow DeFranzer Memes on X if you use it. In the background is a giant picture of Alex Stein. There is also a Reading for Dummies book prominently displayed. I don't know how much more DeFranzer could do to prove it was a meme. And by the way, it's not just in the thumbnail. It stays in the video the whole time. It says fake meme satire. And if you watch her face, it's very obvious. Now, you could argue down the road, the technology gets better. And it's hard to, you know, it's hard to discern it. But this is obvious.
To get New York City more resources to handle
it doesn't even match her lips.
Citizens to be, as I like to call them, immigrants. We should totally raise the taxes on apartment owners. And if they raise rent on current residents, we'll raise taxes again. The residents have citizen privilege. which is a form of white
You have
supremacy.
back here reading for dummies.
That means they're probably
can't see what else is
racist
going on
and
back there.
homophobic, so I don't mind them paying more. New voters coming over the border.
Now it's focused. Reading. Oh no, bartending for dummies. I know my ABCs from AOC.
Or help fight climate change, like not voters yet. Oh no, I wasn't supposed to say that out loud. Oops, I wasn't supposed to say out loud that I wasn't supposed to say that out loud. What were we talking?
There's nobody in here. Like, there's nobody convinced that this is real. We must also say that it says fake satire on it. It was posted by a meme account. And Jordan Peterson wants him to go to jail for it. I will admit that, you know, look, there's so much like video footage of me out there on the internet that people will be able to do AI and be, you know, it would probably be pretty believable. I mean, there's probably a video of me saying every word imaginable. So you'd probably be able to do it. But I mean, the meme is obvious. People in the reply saying, DeFranco says, it's a meme, bro. Frog of shame. Throwing memers in jail. Jordan Peterson, Joe Biden. I mean, it does clearly say that this is satire. It's problematic if it's not marked as satire, but it is clear it is satire. Did you miss the satire label? He even put, I mean, he couldn't have been more clear. And I will argue that, like, you know, deep fakes and this kind of stuff, it does present some issues that we're not ready for. But let's dial back the rhetoric.
I think he really believes it.
It's not identity theft. It's not kidnapping. It's not a serious crime. I mean, Jordan's also had tweets where saying, by failing to separate an anonymous cowardly troll demon from real people in the comment section, YouTube and other social media platforms are enabling sadistic Machiavellian psychopaths. What? What? By the way, 60% of people agreed with him. Like, anytime he goes on, you know, most anonymous troll teams are derisive cowards. Dude, anonymity, he's saying most people who use anonymous accounts, you know, they're not cowards. And, you know, let's say you disagree with me and you have a position like, it is a crime to ruin people's lives and reputations, and then, you know, let's say you make a deep fake of me, like, putting my hands on someone, right? I think that's pretty different, right? It's pretty different than a simple voiceover, obvious meme. I also think that under scrutiny, actual scrutiny, any type of actual video out there that is AI generated that does something like that would be very easy to detect. It would be very easy to prove that it wasn't a real video. You can tell with, you know, nearly perfect success rate what's AI and what isn't. I think that if you created, for example, let's take that idea, let's take that position where you think that should be a crime, expand upon it, where maybe you agree with Jordan Peterson. A middle ground we could say is, let's say you were some sort of person and you spawned hundreds of these fake videos with the express purpose of trying to destroy someone's life, and it did destroy it. Would they have legal recourse? I bet you they would.
Julie, thanks for the sub.
They would have some sort of legal recourse. But that is not this. We can't take every situation to the extreme just to try and disprove or prove a point. It's very obvious that this is a meme, and that, you know, the fact that he can't tell it's fake is shocking to me. It is, and kidnapping and all this kind of stuff. I don't know. I love Jordan. I think he does great things. I think if you want to take it to the extreme and talk about like some agency doing it, or, you know, people coordinating some effort to put out fake videos and retweet them, I think there's already laws for that kind of stuff. But I do think if he's just issuing a warning, then that's fair. That's fair. The rhetoric he uses, I think, leans to be more inflammatory, but hey, maybe he's just getting those Twitter bucks. I don't know. You let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I think that Spike, I tried to respond to you in real time. I think that the body of work that Jordan Peterson has displayed to us as human beings and just warn us about deepfakes, I think he genuinely believes this. Because this is a guy that genuinely wants to remove anonymity from the internet. No more cowardly anonymous troll demons, or at least far fewer than $8 a month should be more than they can afford. Like, I understand where the technology is going, but I do think there are already existing laws that kind of protect you against that kind of stuff.
I didn't realise until I got shot by 2 PMCs from spawn. I was just like,
You know what I'm saying?
like heal, and I was like, hey, why is my keybind not working? I was like, I've got a heavy bleed. Oh.
Let's see.
Look, and I was like, fuck, no, man. Fuck.
All right, I want that. Okay.
And luckily, I was right next to like.
His weakness is tech. He just doesn't get this. Yeah, and the thing is, like, we all have blind spots. We all have things that we're not great on. But, you know, you kind of want to stay away from making, like, hardcore statements on it. I've done it. We've all done it. You know? I'm not saying he's, like, a shit human being or that he's, you know, a terrible human being or anything like that. I'm just saying, you know, Jordan B. Peterson has been consistently wrong about social media. And it's because he literally is a boomer. And the guy's lost his fight. He's lost. I mean, nobody's suffered more of like a social media kind of like attack or discrediting. Nobody's taken more of that than Jordan Peterson, I would argue. Or you could maybe say Trump. Probably Trump. You know? By the way, I appreciate everyone tuning in. We've been pretty consistently between 5,000 and 6,000 this week. I'm blown away by that and so thankful. If it's your first time on the show, you're welcome here. I'm glad you're here. I hope you take part in chat. I interact with chat, as you can see. I often do. You don't have to Rumble Rant me. I mean, Rumble Rants are great, and they go to support me and my team. But if you want to support the channel, all I ever ask is that you follow and then you tune in at 1 Eastern every day. And if you haven't yet, that you leave a like on the video.
Yeah, yes.
You know, we've got 5,500 people and you're only 500 likes.
You want a Bitcoin? Cool.
He's wrong about anonymity, but he isn't wrong about AI. This is scary. Germany will probably cuck to pedophiles in 5 years because boomers don't get it. Come on, dude. Magus, come on. Do you really mean that? You think I'm going to cuck to pedophiles because boomers don't get it? Like, come on, dude. I read my chat. I want you to be better than that. I think you're being a bit naive. I think we'll always be able to tell a deepfake. I don't mean like, you know, I think through technology, you'll always be able to tell it. You know? Really tired of your attitude towards boomers. We get more than you realize. Grow up. I mean, I'm 40. I'm not young. Do I understand that you don't want this whole dollar? I do want that whole dollar. Yeah. Yeah, I think there are a lot of boomers that get it. I mean, there's a lot of boomers that watch my videos that totally get it. You know what I mean? I think I totally. I mean, I feel like I was pretty clear that I understood how this kind of stuff could be weaponized, but I'm also not going to let this fly, where Jordan Peterson's saying put people in prison for it. You know.
So easy when you have technical issues as a streamer, just to be like, yeah, I'm not getting on.
I like your kind of, but I find JW unapologetically enjoyable. I don't know what JW is.
Toradol is an awesome medication, though.
Sorry, is that a? Did I do a racism? I don't know what that means. All right, I respect you, boomers. I'll be more careful about throwing boomers under the bus. I hear you, boomers.
Don't buy his coffee. His coffee's delicious.
I hear.
Best coffee I've ever had in my life.
Hear you. Oh, John Wick. Oh, okay. I like. John Wick. I guess when I say boomers, I forget that I don't qualify. Like, it's not all boomers. My mom is a boomer, and she doesn't, she doesn't think memes should throw you in jail.
Maybe not Somali, is what he's thinking dirty.
Boomers. So anyway.
No, Native Americans aren't extinct.
Anyway.
Being hyperbolic.
One thing I'll say. Yeah, sometimes I forget when I say boomers, like, there are boomers in my audience, but I don't mean you. But I need to be better about that. The rest of today's show. I've got some responding to do to this.
Good evening, everyone. Issa and I recently had the privilege of playing Barbie and Ken in the Barbie movie, which is pretty impactful for people.
Feathers, not dots.
Yeah, we may not have been what first popped up in people's minds when they thought of Barbie or Ken, but that's changed, and we're hoping to continue to push the boundaries of the roles we can play.
By that, of course, we mean white people roles.
Oh my God, I'd love to play white people roles.
No, me too. White people roles are the best. I mean, an alcoholic, divorced, single father fighting for custody.
Oh yeah, an alcoholic housewife whose husband's affair drives her deeper into alcohol.
How about this? An alcoholic school teacher who must put their love of alcohol aside to inspire.
So all white people are alcoholics. I get, like, I'm not exactly sure why. Why is the volume low? That's on the clip. The clip's really low. That's not me. I'm Gen Y. I was born in 83. I don't know. I'm actually a millennial, I think. I think I'm a millennial. But it's like, I don't even, you see this guy, it's not even funny. There comes a point where white people won't accept this nonsense any longer. Well, stop seeing these people's movies. You know?
It's been a very long time since I paid to go to a movie.
All right, so we're going to move. By the way, I need to get back. You know what I could use? You know how we used to do guests on Fridays? Well, I don't think I have any guests booked in 2024. So if you want me to book some particular guests, drop me an email at thequartering@gmail.com, and I'll definitely email. I'll see if I can get. Why am I an alcoholic? I'm an alcoholic because I'm a white person. All white people are alcoholic single dads. Didn't you know that? Yeah, email me though. Otherwise, Vivek can stream for you. Vivek, you mean? Yeah, I know Vivek is. He'll do it for sure. JP Sears. I tried to get JP Sears. He wouldn't come on my show. I could only go on his show or something like that. It was weird. Oh no, he wanted to come on my show, but I couldn't go on his show. So I was like, I don't want to do a show with you then. Is that petty? And to be fair, it was like his booking agent. So that's also puts me off. It's like you could just contact me directly. We both have Rumble. We're both Rumble boys. But if it's the same to me, it felt like somebody, you know, like people who shall not be named will constantly send me their tweets and be like, "Can I get a retweet, bro?" It's like, no, you cannot get a retweet, bro. If I like what you tweet, I'll retweet it. The same way that some people will happen to text me when they tweet something and be like, "Can I get a retweet?" I'm like, again, I have your Twitter. If I liked your tweet, I would retweet it. It is petty. I don't care. I stand by it. I am petty. Maybe I'll try directly with JP. The reason I would do it is like I want to get like it's a trade, right? We trade exposure with each other. He's got a bigger platform than me. You know? We should go on.
Oh shit, like that was actually a thing.
Yeah, cool. Can I get your number? Yeah, sure. Tell Mark to upload on Rumble. I've tried. Do I sell retweets? No.
That's actually fucking, that's clutch. That's actually, it's too good IQ right there.
Retweeting is a tax write-off. That is true. JP shows aren't in a guest format. Okay, so maybe that's why I said that. That could be. Yeah, Sticks and I think Sticks and I would be a pretty good, like, I should try to see if Sticks would be a regular, you know, like a once a week guy. So I think we vibe pretty good. And then like we can do one day a week on my channel and one day a week on his channel. You know what I mean? Would you retweet me for another whole $1? No, I won't. Quarter Black, I could get him, yeah. Gundam, yeah, it's been a while. Does he go on camera or no? I've never seen him on camera. Viva, I've had on. Email me or I'll get on it. I don't have somebody that does all that, so I have to reach out personally. But you're not interesting enough. that could be true. If you do a Sticks, you should say topic focused. Okay. All right. Well, hey, right now we're moving over to Rumble. We're staying. Of our locals. We're staying live. Here's the link. Everyone pour in there. I will never ask you to. That's fair. If you're able to, come on over to locals, like right now.
That's what we're watching.
We've got more videos to do. We've got all sorts of other things to do. You can support the channel by clicking join the basement here or below the chat. Otherwise, we'll be live tomorrow again at the exact same time, 1 o'clock Eastern. But before you do, please consider community. If you join for the year, you get 2 months free. Otherwise, it goes directly towards supporting my team. We could join the basement. Get on over to Locals right now. We're moving over there. I appreciate you all. And we'll see you in a few minutes over on Locals.
Yeah, we'll play that video as soon as he's done here. He may not have anything interesting to say. We can just bug out. But we'll see.
All right, hey, come on over to
Jeez,
Locals.
finally.
There's the link. We'll see you there in a few minutes.
Just take a dump.
Well, actually, right now. All right. Boy, people seem to get pretty touchy. I guess I didn't know how many, like... It's weird. 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 Like, people are really butthurt about... I don't really understand. Am I not supposed to upload that video? Jack, hire a booker or a booking service. They earn their pay through never giving up and, of course, nagging. It's like I don't even have time to look for somebody I would trust. That's kind of half of the problem. It's true to be like it's true that you shouldn't just say boomers in like a negative derogatory term. Like that I'll agree with. That I'll agree with. But I don't understand this Jordan Peterson, people defending him and his like weirdo his weirdo anti-anonymity. I mean, the fact that he's been on the record being against anonymity, why wouldn't he be? I don't think he's playing some kind of fourth dimensional chess here. I think he just legitimately is like, these people should be in jail. That's what I believe. I'm certainly, it could be wrong. You know?
There's a reason
I don't think JBP is the same man that he was before rehab. That's what I believe. I also believe that, like, how do I put this? Like, it's not his fault. No normal human could have withstood the onslaught that he did. But he is at post rehab. Jordan is not the same guy. They basically took it out of him. And like, he's still, when he has his low moments, he's still basically, you know, talking about internet anonymity and, you know, like incorrectly, you know. People get touchy about calling out people on quote our side. Personally, I think it's good to get bad info or take. Yeah, I mean, they do. Most people immediate will say, "Oh, that's why I don't, you know, that's why I don't have any of these cringe internet friends." Like, because over the years, you know, I've basically, I don't, you know, to me, critiquing, like if Tim Pool made a video about me critiquing a take I had or whatever, I wouldn't have a meltdown about it. I mean, I would respond, of course. But I wouldn't think like, oh my God, he's mad at me and we're not friends, because Tim and I aren't friends. We happen to do the same job on completely different. I think that people on the internet who watch content creators think we all get along behind the scenes or that we're all buddies. That's not, you know, that's not really the case. Maybe it is for some of them. I think you could probably say that for like the people in the like the Geeks and Gamers crew people, they're probably all friends, you know? Like they seem like they're probably all relatively close. But like you think Tim hangs out with people? Like he puts out the same number of videos I do. He allegedly has a girlfriend. So what time would he have to kick it with other YouTubers? Like, he doesn't give a fuck about these people. I don't give a fuck if some like other YouTuber doesn't like me. You know? Like that's weird. Weird. Like I have actual friends, you know? If I'm going to be mad at anybody, if I'm worried about what anybody thinks, it's generally my viewers, you know? And that's who I'm actually worried about. So I was thinking for a bit of locals only, I thought I would do maybe a tour of my RC room. I thought about doing like some behind the scenes stuff. I think that's maybe more interesting rather than just another video of me quit bragging about your friends. Instead of just like another video of me reading another article, I thought maybe it would be better to, you know, it would be better to create something that is just exclusively for here and more, you know, more interesting. I'm not calling out Tim. Oh shit, hold on. Oh no. Fuck. Hold on a second. Fuck.
What the fuck is with Aaron?
A choice for most people. Sure, there are some people out there that have gland. What the fuck?
Good to see you, buddy.
Oh, I made a huge mistake. What the hell? Shit. I uploaded the wrong video. I have to fix this. What the Oh, that's gonna screw my channel up too. Hold on one second. Like I completely... Yeah, big oopsie doopsie poopsie. That's what happens when you're trying to put out 7 videos a day and you're doing it by yourself. You screw up sometimes. It happens. But then, like, click-through rate on the channel will suffer. I don't know how I ended up with a video about fat chick. Totally wrong. Shit. Hold, please. Ah. Crap. That kind of stuff screws up your channel metrics. Because YouTube will see it and be like, oh, does that mean I did it on Rumble too?
What the fuck is
problems Yes, I did. Fuck.
All right.
That'll happen.
We're gonna switch. We're gonna watch this video that Dirty sent me.
That'll happen.
Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. Welcome to the program. So today, I wanted to talk about the ongoing congressional testimony that is taking place in regards to Hunter Biden, January 6th. You can really see just how fractured the U.S. is in watching this testimony between Republicans and the unitary one-party state.
Drop it again.
The Democrats. What's interesting is
Hey, Jacob. Rumble.
crackhead Hunter Biden decided to show up. He walked in after the congressional discussion started,
Well, this is all
as they started their banter in perpetude. He did not like what he heard, and about 15 minutes after sitting down, he got up and he walked out.
ran out.
Interesting. What was really hilarious, if you get a chance, try to look it up online and see if you can find this video. But as he's walking out, he is asked by a journalist, reporter, what have you, hey Hunter, what type of crack do you prefer, and are you on crack right now? And boy, the look that journalist got was actually a little disconcerting. If I was that journalist, old crackhead Hunter was none too happy. So, anyway, when you get a chance, check it out. So is this another Lessons in Insanity? Maybe. You be the judge. I wanted to get your opinion on this next subject. I had the opportunity to watch a Australian politician cross-examine and question a Pfizer executive. I don't know when this took place, but it was very interesting. And essentially, this Australian politician, it was an older lady, asked the Pfizer executive. I don't know if he heads up Pfizer in Australia or what his exact rank within the organization of Pfizer was, but she asked him about people being forced to get the substance. And yes, I call it the substance because it is not a vaccine. It doesn't prevent you from getting the sickness, and it doesn't prevent you from spreading the sickness, aka COVID-19. Remember just a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, whenever it was, I could not even say COVID-19. I could not even say vaccine. I could not even talk about this subject on YouTube. I would be censored. So this Pfizer executive was asked his thoughts around people being forced to get the substance. And he declared not once, but twice, he did not believe anyone was forced to get the substance. Now, I'm sure you know someone, I know many individuals who were forced to get the substance. If they didn't get the substance, they would lose their livelihood. And now we're starting to find out that getting this substance is not that all good for you. It can be harmful. Look, we knew that there were some people who got the substance, received the substance, and dropped dead. It happened.
Died suddenly.
Now, what I would like to ask, and I would love to hear what your opinion is as a viewer to our program, is if 5 years from now, if 10 years from now, we find out that these executives, these pharmaceutical executives, that Fauci, other government leaders did this with intent, did this for profit. Billions of people were required to get the substance. And not only one set of substance, many people were required to get additional jabs of the substance and boosters of the substance as well. But if we find out 5 years from now, 10 years from now, it could be a year from now, that the substance, in fact, did harm, and these individuals knew that the substance would do harm, should those individuals be charged with crimes against humanity? Should they be tried? And if convicted, should we execute these individuals?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Fauci. If we know that he essentially forced hundreds of millions of Americans to get this vaccine, this substance. I have to check myself because I called it what it was not. And if we find out that it in fact did harm, that it was killing people, and we don't know the long-term effects of this substance either, and if we find out further down the road that there are ongoing issues with receiving the substance, should they try Fauci? Should they try these executives with these pharmaceutical companies if they knew what they were doing and they did it with the purpose of profit? Fauci is the highest paid federal employee in the United States. Did you guys know that? Made a lot of money off the pandemic. Crimes against humanity. Tried, convicted, and execute them. What are your thoughts? Is it reasonable to even pose that question? If we find out in the future that a great deal of harm was done, and we know for a fact that most people who became ill with COVID-19 recovered. I got it myself.
So did I.
And I wouldn't even rate it as one of the top 10 illnesses of my life. Wasn't that bad. I think it was more disconcerting because of all the hype centered around COVID-19. That was probably creating more of a concern at the time. But in reality, if there had not been this hype around COVID-19, what would have been my opinion of contracting it? Well, I would have just have said I got a moderately bad cold. That's it. That's it. But again, if we find out that this substance has been hurting people, and I mean death or serious bodily injury, in which otherwise, if they had contracted COVID-19, they would have simply, their body would have achieved natural immunity, just like I did. So should those individuals, should these pharmaceutical executives, should Fauci be held accountable? And I mean the most serious form of accountability. And I believe it falls within the purview of crimes against humanity. Tell me what you think. Have a good day.
Sorry. Okay, sorry about that, guys.
Dane Cook does not make me laugh at all in any way, shape, or form. How can any comedian get as famous as Dane Cook has with no jokes? He doesn't make me laugh, but that doesn't mean he's not funny. He doesn't get credit. He came up with a new genre sort of style of comedy. That guy is a total fucking trailblazer. This guy is a monster fucking talent that can kinda do anything. Dane Cook made his network television debut on Letterman in 1997.
When I was little, my dream, all I wanted to do was take karate. I used to run around my house. And I begged my dad, I was like, Dad, please, can I take karate? Come on.
Nobody could have predicted that this guy would become the biggest comedian in the world just a few years later. The next day after that Letterman set, Dave noticed a shift in his performances. He trusted himself more movement, more emotion, whatever it took to get laughs.
For me, it was tough growing up because I learned everything. I had 5 sisters, okay? I used to wear a tampon just to fit in, okay? Swear to God. Here comes Peter Cottontail. I love sex. I always, you know what I mean? The thing, it's just, I'm crazy for it. I just, I'm...
1 year later, Cook would appear on the new show Premium Blend on Comedy Central, a stand-up comedy TV show that helped amplify numerous comedians in the late 90s, including Dave Chappelle, Gabriel Iglesias, and Amy Schumer. Then in 2000, Dane got a half-hour special on Comedy Central Presents. It seemed like he was on the right trajectory to becoming a mainstream success, but his career reached a standstill after that special. Some of you might think it's because he wasn't funny. He got enough exposure to a large audience through TV, and they decided they wouldn't be paying money to come see him live, which could be true. However, comedy as a whole was in a rough spot. The late 70s and 80s witnessed a comedy boom that the world hadn't seen before. George Carlin, Richard Pryor, Steve Martin, Eddie Murphy are just a few of the many icons who dominated that era. However, the 90s saw a huge downturn. Comedy clubs were closing all over the country, and the Comedy Central TV channel was yet to be established. Most successful comedians in the 90s usually got their notoriety through television sitcoms. Everybody Loves Raymond, Home Improvement, The Jamie Foxx Show, All American Girl, Drew Carey Show, the list goes on and on and on. These comedians would earn a fan base, then embark on a large stand-up tour for the audience that loves their TV show. Now obviously in the 90s you can't just produce your own show and upload it to TV, so comedians who didn't have Hollywood connections needed to grind for years. They would do short stand-up sets in comedy clubs all over the country and slowly build their reputation. Dane was willing to do that old school grind. He hoped at one of his open mics he would catch the attention of a talent manager with connections, or a network looking to cast him in a massively popular TV show. But by 2003, he basically had nothing to show for, besides being the intro for Smash Mouth's all-star music video.
I am the Waffler. With my griddle of justice, I bash the enemy in the head, or...
Yeah, the last time he was in here, he was telling us his address and everything. This time he started off by saying his full name. So, warned him, I deleted that message, and then I switched it over to this, and he disappeared, so he wasn't even subbed.
I burn them like so.
Dane had also just released his comedy album Harmful If Swallowed and had nobody to promote it to. It was time to take his career into his own hands, and this decision would launch him into superstardom. But first, let me tell you about today's sponsor, War Thunder.
I am not a fan of Dane Cook. I don't know why I'm watching this. I don't even know why it popped up.
The only way to get a hold of the governor is in person. The only way is going to be to go out there in person and walk into the governor's office. And you know he's going to try to hide from us. So it's going to have to be a matter of weeks, possibly months, that we're out there constantly trying to find the governor and put pressure on him to... Enough, man. There is one option, though, if you want to contact the governor. The only way you can get the governor to get back to you is to fill out this. If you want to reach out to him, you can fill out this. And you have to give your first and last name and your address. If you're going to complain about public officials or reach out to them at all, they're going to have to know where you live and where you sleep at night so that they can properly retaliate against you. That's the only way to get a hold of the governor of Missouri. And this is a state that's known for slavery. Ava, Missouri still has, allegedly, from what I've been told by these guys, Ava, Missouri still has an ordinance on their books saying that you can hang black people. The state of Missouri has a history of running out and massacring religious people that they don't like. Like, this is the history of the state. And I thought, no, that's just 1800s stuff. They've gotten over it by now. No, they haven't. They've just gotten better at hiding it. And it's about time that you and I and all of us start blowing the top off of this. So I'm going to try and make a few more phone calls, but this is the point where we're at. And then there's one more thing that I want to cover. Right now, I'm going to make a couple more phone calls first and see if we can't get a hold of anyone. And then I will cover the last little bit of what we need to talk about here, and then read super chats and then close it up. So let me see. I'm going to have to go into my own stream to find the contact information that I posted in the links. I don't know if there's even anybody else still worth reaching out to. There's the public defender, City of Ava. There's only one contact number for the entire City of Ava. I wonder if I can find another one for them. Yeah, we've got the Sheriff's Department. We'll go ahead and give them a call and see what they intend to do about the criminal cops in Ava. But they intend to do nothing because they're all working together. But we'll ask them anyways, just to show you that, look, we've tried to reach out. We've tried to be nice. We've tried to, do this the nice way. But as you guys know, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. We can do it the easy way or the hard way.
911, what is your emergency?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't. I need non-emergency, please.
It's going to be 417-250-2320.
417. Sorry, one more time. Sorry.
417-250-2320.
Thank you very much.
Yep, no problem.
Bye. You shouldn't be listing the 911 number on your Google, you stupid idiots. 417-250. That was pulled right off of Google, by the way. That's what they listed on Google as their contact information. I'll get it changed in the description when the stream ends. But gosh, you don't post your 2320.
Press 1 if this is an emergency or you need a deputy to respond to your location. Thank you for calling the Douglas County Sheriff's Office. For questions regarding an inmate's commissary, contact Tiger Commissary at tigersupport@tigercommissary.com. For questions regarding inmates' phone time, contact inCartel at 1-800-830-1380. To speak with the jail regarding inmates, press 2. To speak with the jail administrator, press 3. To speak with the clerk regarding billing and purchasing, civil process, paper service, eviction information, and the sex offender registration, press 4. To speak with the administration assistant or for questions regarding concealed carry permit, press 5. To speak with Lieutenant Taylor Wallace or Corporal James Nelson, press 6. To speak with Detective Kobe Roberts, Detective Nathan Long, or questions regarding seized property, press 7. To speak with Deputy Sean Wilson, Deputy Sam Evans, or Deputy Joe Deering, press 8. To speak with probation and parole, press 9.
I often forget to listen to the options. I zone out.
Sheriff's Office.
Hello, this is James. Who am I speaking with?
I'm a dispatcher here. How can I help you?
I was wondering if I could get a deputy there at the sheriff's office on the phone with me.
Let me see if I have one available. You said your name was what? I'm sorry.
James Springer.
Okay. What's it regarding?
It's regarding trying to find out if they're going to deal with some of the crime in the area here.
Okay, give me just a second.
Okay. Now I think that the best thing to do would be to speak with the elected sheriff himself, but I've been trying to contact people all week, and one thing I've learned is they're not going to let you get a hold of anybody. And this is the kind of cowardice that these politicians and elected individuals participate in, where they put it's really tough too for a lot of the people answering the phones who are kind of on the front line, and they have to catch all the flack and all the people who genuinely, we get angry when we can't reach our elected public officials. And so I know some of you end up cussing these people out, and it does suck for them that the real bad guys throw these innocent people on the front lines to field all these calls, and they don't give a rat's ass about the people that are fielding these calls, as long as they don't have to deal with it, which is why we're going to have to go out there in person. Because, I mean, some of the people who are fielding these calls, they are in on it. They love the corruption. Some of them. But others, man, a lot of them really sign up for these jobs because, sure, for the money. They want money. That's why most of us take a job, is for money. Don't lie. But a lot of them, I think, really do care about helping their community and care about their neighbors. And they don't care for the crimes that are being committed by their local government. But they're the ones who end up having to deal with it because the cowards force them onto the front line to deal with it.
Deputy Deering.
Hello?
Yeah, this is Deputy Deering. How can I help you?
Deputy Deering, how you doing, man?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing all right. Hey, I've been trying to reach people at your department for like a week and a half. I've been trying to reach people at the Ava City Hall, the police department. I can't get a hold of anybody. I really appreciate you taking my call, sir.
Okay, what can I do for you?
So my name is James Springer. I go by an alias on the interwebs of James Freeman, and I'm looking at this incident. The case is going on with what's his name? JC News Now, Jimmy Hague. You familiar with it?
I mean, I can transfer you to the sheriff's voicemail if you'd like to speak to him about the case going on.
Well, I know that I've heard that you're a good guy. I have heard that. I know exactly who you are. You're the one who wrote up the report and went and got the warrant for Jimmy Hague. I know who you are, and I've been told that you're a good guy that's also been put out on the front lines so that people can attack you for what you've done when you were kind of just following orders, weren't you?
Anything? So, are you wanting to report something?
Well, I'm wanting to find out when you're going to turn around and arrest the actual criminal Butterworth.
Like I said, I mean, if you want to speak with that, that is, I can transfer you to Sheriff DeGase's voicemail, and you can speak with him.
Well, Mr. Deering, is that how you pronounce it? Deering? Mr. Deering, is that how you pronounce your name, sir?
Yep, Deputy Deering.
Would
you like to be sent to Sheriff DeGase's voicemail?
Well, here's my concern. When Deputy Butterworth came in there to file charges, he didn't have to be forwarded to anybody else. You handled it yourself, didn't you? But now that I'm coming in here, and now that I'm coming to you with a problem, you're telling me that you can't handle it and somebody else has to handle it. So, I mean, why can't you handle it?
What do you want to report?
I'm wanting to report a false police report put out by, I'm sorry, what's his name? Butterworth? Butterworth. I want to report a bogus warrant put out by a judge. Now, when you got that warrant, how come you didn't go to the judge of your county? How come you went to a neighboring county to get the warrant? Mr. Deering?
So you can call and contact the prosecuting attorney's office and speak with them. Everything gets forwarded over to the prosecutor, and it's up to the court.
Look, I understand you're in a tough position, and that's why I'm trying to be nice, but also we're going to have to get to the bottom of this. And please don't take this personal, okay? But you are part of it. You've become part of it, and I'm sorry that you're in that situation. But can you please tell the people why you went to a neighboring county to get a warrant? Was it you that did it, or was it one of your higher ups? Why did you go to a neighboring county to get a warrant issued? Did the judge in your county tell you no? I mean, nobody knows better than you because your name is on the sworn affidavit and the warrant. Nobody knows better than you.
So any further questions, you can speak with Sheriff DeGase or the prosecutor's office at the Douglas County Sheriff's Office.
Mr. Deering, please. I will talk to them about their participation in this. But right now I'm talking to you about your participation in this. And I'm asking you, I've been told that you're a good guy, and I'm asking you to do the right thing for the people. Why did you go? Please, why did you go to a neighboring county? Nobody wants to take personal accountability for their own personal actions. I was just following orders. We got the actual deputy on the phone that did this report and got this warrant.
You've reached Sheriff DeGase. Please leave your name and number, and I'll call you back. If you need immediate response or need to speak to a deputy immediately, please call 417-683-1020. Thank you.
Record your message at the tone. Press any key or stop talking to end the recording.
Hey, Sheriff, this is James Springer. I've left multiple messages. I don't expect you to get back to me, but I'll at least go through the motions of leaving you a message again. We've got some very important issues that are not just affecting your county, but your entire state, and are now making waves throughout the entire nation. I need to speak to you as soon as possible. You can reach me at... And again, my name is James Springer. I appreciate a call back. Thank you. Bye. Guys, we can't get a hold of anyone. We're going to have to go out there in person. I'm not going to be able to make it out until at least next month, though. My wife is 9 months pregnant and about to have a baby. And I cannot leave at the moment. It's going to have to be next month. In the meantime, I've reached out to some attorneys to help JC News Now. I know that there are people all over the entire United States, thousands of them, probably tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands, that deserve our help. And to be totally honest with you, I can't help them all. Lackluster can't help them all.
I can't help them all.
Long Island audit can't help them all. We can't help them all. And it is unfortunate. And gosh, it for those of us who actually care, it sucks. But I do have to say that from time to time, I find a case where I say, I think that we can come together and help this person. And I think that helping this person will have a massive ripple effect on helping a hell of a lot more people. One of the individuals out there in Missouri, Firm Audits, FIRM Audits, is also in court today, probably right now as we speak. And he's in there on charges of witness tampering because he was outside of the courthouse recording when Jimmy Hague was convicted of harassment for recording a public employee. Now they're going after him for witness tampering. This stuff in Missouri has gotten completely and totally out of control, and there are no attorneys. We have not found one single attorney in the entire state of Missouri who's willing to do something about it. The attorneys are scared too. The people in Missouri, as long as they're doing what their masters say, they're okay. But in general, the people in Missouri are living in absolute fear of their government. They know it. We know it. We've reached out to an attorney in Texas who has at least found a sponsor in Missouri that can take this case. And I know this is asking a hell of a lot, but if a large amount of people can help out a little bit, if we can raise $10,000, I hate even doing this.
As long as it's kept respectful.
But if we can raise $10,000, we can get a good attorney retained and have him take over this case immediately. And hopefully get this warrant quashed immediately that his public defender refuses to quash. Out of all the people out there, I know that there are so many people who need help, but I really think that if we can fight and beat this case, they have the entire state of Missouri stacked up against them. This isn't going to be easy and it's not going to be cheap, but it has to be done. And if we don't do it, they're not just going to railroad JC. They're going to railroad the next guy and the next guy and the next guy. We have to stop it now. We have to, unfortunately, we've got to pick a case somewhere and say, boom, that's where we're sticking our foot in the door. And that's where we're putting our foot down and saying, no, that's enough. If we can get these charges dismissed and dropped on JC News Now, this attorney is also going to go back and work on getting his previous harassment charge expunged because his public defender failed him in that one. And at that point, we can take that and go and get this case against Firm Audits taken care of. I know we are asking for a huge, huge amount of help here, but this isn't about JC News Now. That his case happens to be the one case that's going to be the catalyst to start changing the entire state of Missouri, but it's not about JC. It's about it's about me, it's about our families, it's about our neighbors, it's about every single person that's being terrorized and railroaded through this system. And it's about the fact that we've got a chance now to actually get some attorneys in there who are truly have their heart 100% in it, who are going to take this all the way. We don't think that
on the top of the stack.
This is going to be beat in any court in the state of Missouri, which is why it's going to get pretty expensive. To be honest, in the long run, we're probably looking at $20,000.
I've been emailing them.
Because this is going to have to go to an appellate court. We don't believe that any of these guys are going to get justice in any of these courts, but they still have to go through the motions of going to trial, getting convicted, and then appealing. And that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, I didn't come in
there are links in the description at the very bottom of the description to JC News Now's PayPal and
I'll be here tomorrow though.
Another donation.
Oh yeah, I know.
I'm going to end this stream here. We're at 38 minutes and I'm only supposed to go 30 minutes. But if you guys feel it in you that this is a case that you think you can get behind too and that you want to donate to, I would strongly encourage you to please, please, please help us out raising the money for this particular case. From here, I mean, we can go a long way after this. The donation information is in the description. If we don't get enough donations within, I'm going to say the next 24 to 48 hours, then I'll probably get together with a whole bunch of other so I know you guys like to call them auditors, but people who want liberty and will probably
I can tell you,
a
once they didn't get any
live stream
information on
campaign
me,
fundraiser
Cynthia,
until we get to
those two
the 10,000.
have
I'm
not
going
been
to
back.
tell you up front though, because I don't want people to be upset later.
'Cause I'm
We're
an
probably
open
going to
book.
need around 20,000 total, but we can get started with
Yeah.
10,000. I don't want to deceive you from the front and say, oh, we need 10 grand and then come at you later and say, oh, we need another 10 grand. We are expecting about 20 grand in total, but we can get started with 10. I'll get back to you guys in a day or two, and we'll see if we need to do a massive fundraiser on this. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys who are watching. Those of you who don't have
First time
YouTube
I was
channels,
talking about a
but you
troll
are
that
in the
was in here
background
earlier, and I
doing
wasn't
all of the
talking
real
about
work.
Chopper.
I see you. We
Let me call
see
this
you.
kid real quick. Just real quick. You
Those
should
of
be
us who have
open
YouTube
right now.
channels are kind of just the news, who's spreading the awareness about what's going on. But it is you, the people, who are doing things behind the scenes, who are that are really making the change and the difference. It's you guys who are making the phone calls, making the emails. I know you guys are donating all the time for stuff like this. And don't think for 1 second that you aren't noticed and that you aren't appreciated, because those of us who are reaching wide audiences, we couldn't do anything without you. We are completely and totally powerless without you guys. And at least me and many others, we recognize that. We know that. It's Spike Cohen, his little catchphrase is always, "You are the power." And when each and every individual person in our community starts to realize that you have more power than you think, that your phone call means more than you think, that your email means more than you think, and that even a $2 donation from 1,000 people, from 10,000 people, from 100,000 people gets us a long ways. I'm rambling on now, but guys, I really appreciate your help. I appreciate your support towards other members of your community, your neighbors. And I will see you next time. We'll have an edited video published. I'm going to leave this one public. I'm usually going to take live streams down. I'll leave this one public though. And I'm going to try and get a edited video up for you guys later today. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
What? The hell's this shit?
Welcome once again to Leto's Law. Here's Steve Leto.
You'll have to forgive me. I was up kind of late last night. There was a football game on. And David sent me this note. It says, Steve, check out the story from Wyoming. WyomingNews.com ran it. Sophia Sarek wrote it. Wyoming Supreme Court rules that police can search based on nonverbal gestures and believed authority to consent. So in other words, they're going to come in and they want to search someplace. They need permission to do it. If they think they've got permission based on a nonverbal gesture, and they have a good faith belief that they've got the right to do it, they can do it. And if someone comes by later and says, I never gave you permission, the court will say, well, they thought they had permission and they had good reason to think that. So this, as you can imagine, could lead to trouble. The Wyoming Supreme Court ruled that law enforcement officers can legally search an individual's home, papers, and effects as long as they reasonably believe they have consent, verbal or nonverbal, from a person with authority. Because that's another question, is suppose they come up, knock on the door of a house, someone answers, they go, can we search? Yes. What if that person is just a visitor? What if they're a trespasser? So a man entered a conditional guilty plea to possession of drugs. The no contest plea reserved his right to appeal certain issues in the case. On appeal, he argued that the Laramie County District Court made a mistake when it denied his motion to suppress evidence that law enforcement had obtained after they entered his apartment without a warrant and without his consent. Physical entry into a person's home is the chief evil against which the wording of the Fourth Amendment is directed, said the Supreme Court in its opinion. The Cheyenne Police Department officers were dispatched to the apartment of the man in March of 2022 for a report of domestic violence. When the officers got there, they found the alleged victim sitting on the stairs directly outside of the apartment. An officer asked her what happened, and she motioned to an injury on her face near her eye. So apparently she didn't answer. She just pointed. So the ruling states that the man, the defendant, was allegedly intoxicated and kept hitting her. The woman opened up the apartment door and called to him. She stepped inside and while holding the door open said, "Here you go, the police are here for you." Now, the man denied any wrongdoing, but later admitted they'd had an argument. He had blood on his nose, but declined to tell officers his side of what happened. He was ultimately arrested and transported to Laramie County Detention Center, where officers found approximately 39 grams of suspected drugs and approximately 26 grams of another suspected drug, and that would be on his person. The man was charged with domestic battery, strangulation of a household member, and 2 counts of possession of a controlled substance. He filed a motion to suppress any evidence that flowed from the search and seizure, arguing the officers violated the Fourth Amendment by entering his apartment without his consent, without a warrant, and without exigent circumstances. Exigent circumstances is a reference to the fact that sometimes the police have got to do something in the case of an emergency. And if they do it in the case of an emergency or these certain exigent circumstances, they might be able to say, we didn't get a warrant because of these. Very unusual. But the Laramie County District Court denied his motion. In the end, he pleaded guilty to 1 count of possession in exchange for a reduced sentence, dismissal of the other charges, but he retained the right to appeal this one issue. So he appealed that to Wyoming Supreme Court. He argued that the district court made an error when it found that officers had a reasonable belief that the woman had the authority to consent to a warrantless entry. So they're saying when she opened the door and said, "Hey, these guys, cops are here for you," that was them being told, "Yeah, come on in, search the place." The state's highest court concluded the woman had the believed authority to consent to the officer's entry, and she implied consent to the entry based on her nonverbal gestures. According to the Supreme Court, no Fourth Amendment violation occurs when law enforcement reasonably believes that a person who consents to a warrantless search has authority over the place or thing being searched. The question is whether the facts available to the officers at the time they entered the apartment would warrant a man of reasonable caution to believe that woman had apparent authority over the apartment and consented to that entry. A warrantless search is legal if the answer to that is yes. In this case, the woman called from that location, was at the residence, had come from inside and freely re-entered the apartment. It was reasonable to believe that she had authority over the home, according to the court. The man also argued the woman never consented to the officer's entry into the apartment. But the Wyoming Supreme Court ruled that although consent must be clear, it does not need to be verbal. And her actions would lead a reasonable officer to believe that she consented to entry of Alexander's apartment. The woman, instead of verbally responding, grabbed the apartment doorknob, opened the door, stepped in, and confronted the man. And while holding the door open, she said, "Police are here for you." And to me, that still doesn't sound like she's inviting them in. The police are here for you. But that's where we are. And so this is always a dangerous thing to do when they create new precedent like this and spell it out, because what happens now is, prior to this, it would have been a big gray area. And there's 2 things they're saying here are coming down from this case. One is that if they simply believe that you are in charge of the property, then you grant them permission and then go in. So what this does mean is a smart officer now won't ask, "Is this your place?" They'll just say, "Can I come in?" If you say yes, I'm assuming you said yes because you had the right to say no. But if it's not your place, see, and that's one of the problems. The other problem is that they say it can be search based on nonverbal gestures. Nonverbal gestures. Now, I got news for you. Some people are very, very expressive with nonverbal gestures. I also know other people who are very, very poker-faced, or they got a rich, the resting unsmiling face. And I have had people come up to me before and say, "Are you pissed off?" "No, why?" "Oh, I'm sorry, you look like you're pissed off." Sometimes my face relaxes into an expression that makes me look pissed off, apparently. I try not to do it on camera, okay? But the point is that interpreting nonverbal gestures, nonverbal cues now is something that the police can say. We walked up there, asked if we can search, and the guy shrugged his shoulders. So I assume that meant I don't care And so we searched. And the guy could say, I shrugged my shoulders because I'm like, what? Why are you asking me that? It's not my place. Okay? So there's two issues that arise here. And unfortunately, and I can tell you this from taking criminal procedure in law school, you will read cases and series of cases on a particular issue, such as searches. And you'll discover that a case will come down and make a ruling. And another case will come down, and it's weird. You'd think, well, that last ruling should have settled this issue. No. And these new facts keep popping up. And so you're going to get some facts like that, where the police came onto a scene and they saw somebody. Can we search the place? Person said yes. Later we found out that person was just a weirdo who wandered in to see what was happening because they saw police cars. And so that's a problem when you say that, well, if we believed we have the authority to consent, but you don't put on us. And so you might say, but Steve, how would you fix this if you were a court? If I was the court making this ruling, I would say that they have to have a reasonable basis to believe that. And if they're doing it off of nonverbal gestures, they need to clarify it. But the real point here is they don't want to clarify it. Like I said, they can walk up to somebody now and go, is it okay if we search this place? Okay, now they can search because they interpreted this to mean yes, and they assumed that person had authority. That's the problem. So anytime, especially you'll know that the court did point out physical entry into a person's home is the chief evil against which the wording of the Fourth Amendment is directed. That's the number one thing people want to feel secure is in their home. Okay? And so the woman, when they encountered her, was outside. They say, well, she stood up and she opened the door. Okay, the door was unlocked. Does that prove that she had authority to consent to the search of that apartment? No, of course not. But except now, yes, it does. See, that's and that's the problem here. So, David, thanks for sending this. But from WyomingNews.com, and again, this is happening in Wyoming. And I always have to explain this, that when a state court interprets the Constitution a certain way, it becomes binding precedent in that state. So here's a Wyoming Supreme Court case that theoretically now is good law across the state of Wyoming. If you're in a nearby state or another state and your court hasn't ruled on this, can you count on this or will this hurt you? And the answer is it could kind of, because when you're making an argument before a court on a novel concept that's never been before that court before. So let's suppose that you're in Ohio and you have this exact same set of facts, but your court's never ruled on it. You could then say, Your Honor, we know this court has never ruled on this before. However, there is a case from our learned brethren and sistren in Wyoming where they've ruled on this, and we want you to rule this way. Or, if you're going the other direction, you'd say, case came down in Wyoming that is completely wrong. Let me explain to you why. You should not follow that or imitate that. And so it's not binding precedent, but it can be what they call persuasive. I can tell you some fields of law, like the Uniform Commercial Code, it's not uncommon that if you have a section of the UCC, Section 2, regarding sales, that's never been interpreted in your state, you find how it's been interpreted in other states near you. And if you find cases that go your way, you argue them all day long. And the UCC being adopted by all the states, with most of them adopting it verbatim, then how it gets interpreted in one state often is how it gets interpreted in another, eventually. So right now, that's what's happening in Wyoming. Sophia Sarek wrote that for the Casper Star Tribune, and it got published on WyomingNews.com. Questions or comments, put them below. Let's talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Leto's Law. Meow means woof in cat.
Hey, Matt. Where's Leto at? Michigan. He was up late watching the game. This was from Tuesday. He was up late watching the Michigan game. Actually, I think he's a Michigan State fan from northern Michigan. I'm sure he was interested. Hmm. Hmm.
Yields back. Judge, why wasn't it fixed last year?
Pardon me?
Why wasn't it fixed last year? I mean, the gentlelady talked about working in a bipartisan fashion to fix this problem. Why wasn't it fixed last year?
Why wasn't it fixed last year?
You talked about the concerns and how we have to work together to fix it. I'm just wondering, why wasn't it fixed last year? Because they didn't need bipartisan support last year. Last Congress, they controlled everything in the federal government. If it's a federal government solution, why didn't they fix it?
Well, one of the things that we're doing today, and I appreciate that, is we're having a dialogue, and those dialogues.
I'm all for
can lead
dialogue.
to-
I'm all for working together, but they didn't. Now it's all bipartisan. They had first of all, they say there's no problem on the border. The border's secure. Then they come in here and say, oh, no, we got to work in a bipartisan way to fix it now that we're in control of the House of Representatives. But all I'm saying is last Congress, they controlled everything. Joe Biden's a Democrat in the White House. The Senate was controlled by the Democrats, and the House was controlled by the Democrats. Why didn't they fix it then?
By the cop.
I think that falls more in your corner than mine.
My corner?
Yes, because
In the minority last Congress?
Well, all we do is maintain the flow and try to do the best we can with a broken system.
and
we have nothing to do with fixing the system. And so
But you understand how the United States government works, right? You get a majority in the House, a majority in the Senate. They pass something, it goes to the president, he signs it. They could have done that last Congress. They didn't.
Well, what a great opportunity for you.
Great
to
opportunity.
Be different. Yeah.
And that's why we're having the hearing.
Exactly.
So they criticized us on the hearing. They said, why are we starting this Congress off with this hearing? So they can't have it every way, and they can't blame Republicans when they were in control. And you can come here and you can say, oh, no, now it's time for bipartisanship. We welcome that. If we really want to address the problem that caused Mr. and Mrs. Dunn to lose their son, the problem that Sheriff has talked to us about that has been so dramatically changed in the last couple of years, that's what we want to address. I yield the remainder of my time to the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Roy.
The gentleman for yielding and for his good questions. So the user knows when their account's been suspended
with your best friend.
or blocked, but they don't know when they have some of these gold terms that were under Mr. Bongino and Mr. Kirk. Is that right, Mr. Roth?
As of the time that I worked at Twitter, yes, that's.
Show me what you got.
Riggsy boy. Riggs. Long drive contest against Tiger Woods.
Yes, yeah.
You ready for this, Tiger Woods?
Come on.
Stronger grip. Forward.
Yep. Stronger club
Stronger
face.
club face.
Stronger club face. Lead the club face strong all the way back.
Riggsy! Yes! Oh!
All right. All right, you see where that went?
Okay. All right, we saw it.
We saw it.
We saw it.
All right, long drive contest.
No. No! You're a sicko. You're a sicko. That was awesome. That was awesome.
No. You're incredible.
Yeah, just want to have a little fun. That's all. Just have a little fun. All right. I'm speechless. I'm speechless. That was sick. You're the man. Good.
That was a fun long drive contest.
I'll play other people's videos, but I'll never.
I really haven't been able to hit balls off my legs very often.
No,
So.
Probably gonna wrap this up. I gotta stop, get my oil changed. Do it. Video here. Oh.
I thought I was done with my last video for the day, and then I saw this video pop up in my news feed saying that the FBI is going to open an investigation on this Lorain County incident where these jailers allegedly, yeah, right, we got video evidence, I don't even know why they say this, allegedly paralyzed this guy. Watch this, and keep in mind, this could happen to anybody. This could happen to you, this could happen to me, this could happen instantly. We could be raided by the FBI or by the local police for literally no reason. They could have a warrant out for somebody else, go to the wrong house, and that house is yours, and they could treat you like this if you dared to question their authority. Listen to this.
19 investigates allegations of abuse by corrections officers at the Lorain County Jail.
Now, we've already reported several officers have been accused of mistreating inmates. Now, another officer has allegedly paralyzed a man. The FBI even opening its own investigation.
19 investigates Mike Mason exposing how this officer has close ties to the top official at the Lorain County Jail. A warning, some of these images are difficult to see.
The case you mentioned involves a Lorain corrections officer accused of slamming a man into a wall, partially paralyzing him. Public records show the officer was reprimanded for mistreating that inmate, but allowed to keep his job. Tonight, the injured man describes his emotional ordeal while his attorney plans to file a federal lawsuit. Jeffrey...
This is another thing, before we play this is another thing that just shocks me to no end, and it continues to amaze me, that these psychopaths in uniforms will continue to commit these crimes in broad daylight on camera. There's video evidence, and all they get sometimes is a reprimand. At other times, they get a paid vacation. Sometimes they'll lose their job. But most of the time, I'm not saying all the time because Amber Geiger went to jail, but look what her sentence was, 10 years. And she's eligible for parole this year for shooting and killing a man in his own living room on his own couch, eating ice cream while he's watching a movie. Rest in peace, Botham John. But most of the time, they never see jail time. And if they are fired, which is, for them, it's like, oh my God, I lost my job. I can't believe, why did I lose my job? I just committed a crime on camera. That's all I did. But if you and I did that, we would be done for. But they lose their jobs, and then they're hired on by some other police department in the next county over. It's sickening. It's sickening.
Fry says one quick move by a Lorain County corrections officer changed his life forever.
Just too much to do to someone for nothing.
When it was over, Fry says he was bound to a wheelchair, barely able to move. It happened in May of last year. Video obtained from the Lorain County Sheriff's Office shows corrections officer Brian Tellier escorting Fry, then apparently slamming him into a wall head first.
What do you remember next?
What kind of a psychopathic coward do you have to be? The guy is in handcuffs. It looks like he doesn't even have shoes on, grabbing him from behind and just slamming his against this solid steel door.
Head first.
What do you remember next? I remember waking up back in the search area, put up against the wall, sitting.
Think about what the news crew is not saying. And it's blaringly obvious to every one of us. But I'm not going to tell you what I'm thinking. You let me know as you watch this video right here what the news crew didn't say in this story.
With my neck down.
Watch the video closely and you can see how the officer grabs Fry's left arm and slams him into the wall. Meanwhile, an Elyria police officer stands by watching it happen. Video then shows Tellier try to pull Fry up, but he appears limp and unconscious. When another officer rushes in, they lay Fry face first on the floor. He's then propped against the wall and eventually dragged inside with his feet dangling behind him.
Well, my hands and my arms were paralyzed, so they was just like Pinocchio with no strings. You couldn't move them? No. I couldn't move nothing except my neck and my mouth.
Fry is leaned against the wall until EMS arrives about 20 minutes later. Officers then toss Fry onto a cart. Video shows Tellier turning Fry onto his back and yanking him up. More than 30 minutes after being injured, Fry is finally taken.
Look, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Look how many people are in the room. Look how many cops are in the room. Look how many EMS care. What does this say on life care? They don't care about anybody's life. There's not one good cop on the scene putting a stop to it, putting their foot down and going, guys, this is the opposite of protecting and serving. We're wrecking this guy's life. We're ruining him. What are you guys doing? Nobody. We always hear about the good cops. Oh, it's just a few bad apples spoiling the whole bunch. Hey, I am not convinced that the entire bushel is not rotten, because I never see a good cop step forward and try to apprehend the true criminals. They don't do it. They don't care. They're part of it. And if you look at this one guy, as soon as the first bit of brutality happens, he just stands there like, no, happen again. Oh, well, who cares? The guy standing right here with the piece of paper in his hand, just looks around like, oh, well, yeah, that's what we do. That's what we do around here. That's our modus operandi. That's our mode of operations. That's how we handle people.
Video shows Tellier turning Fry onto his back and yanking him up. More than 30 minutes after being injured, Fry is finally taken to the hospital.
And you saw him get dragged like a rag doll and flipped around.
Attorney Nick DiCello represents Fry and plans to file a federal lawsuit against Tellier and the Lorain County Sheriff's Office.
Jeff's going to live with this for the rest of his life.
DiCello alleges that Tellier's actions left Fry paralyzed from the head down. The surgery to repair his broken neck has branded Fry with a long line of scars. Though he's regained much of his use, Fry says he'll always suffer lingering effects.
He's got neuropathic pain, which is consistent with people with spinal cord injury.
Yeah, I gotta keep my hands like this because when I straighten them out, they hyperextend and they go like this.
In Tellier's
before we get to this cop's frickin' written lie, they're not even talking about the psychological damage that happened to this guy. I'm sure he's got PTSD. Next time he sees a cop, he's going to freak out going, man, please, whatever you do, don't send me to jail. Don't put your hands on me. Please don't abuse me, whatever you do. Now listen to the lies.
It's a force report. He claimed that when Fry pulled away from him, he tried placing him against the wall. He says that's when Fry fell down due to his intoxication. Tellier's sergeant then approved the report, determining reasonable force was used. But records show when a lieutenant reviewed Tellier's report several days later, he discovered multiple inaccuracies. He determined Tellier hooked Fry's left arm and propelled him towards the wall in a takedown maneuver. He found Tellier mistreated a prisoner and falsified the report. As a result, Tellier was given a written reprimand and is now restricted from having contact with inmates. Court records show that 2 weeks later, the Lorain County prosecutor sent LCSO this subpoena demanding they submit all information about this incident to the FBI. Meanwhile, 19 Investigates has uncovered numerous cases where inmates allege they were also abused by corrections officers.
I do know there's a series of incidents that have occurred there that is troubling.
Last November, veteran officer Ruben Ortiz was fired after striking inmate Charles Koch more than a dozen times. Our investigation found Ortiz had been reprimanded several times in the past for mistreating inmates and falsifying reports. Ortiz is now facing criminal charges, and Koch's attorney plans to sue LCSO.
And I believe it establishes a clear pattern of conduct, not just with this officer, but perhaps beyond that, and the disciplinary sanctions that go into, an incident like this.
In my opinion, every one of the cops and EMTs who were involved in witnessing this guy get brutalized, the last guy and this guy right here, every one of them, at the minimum, should receive jail time. Every one of them.
Ford's attorney also sued LCSO.
Their pensions should go toward funding this guy for the rest of his life. It should come out of the cops' pockets.
Last November, alleging officers beat him for no reason.
I think there's an issue with the Lorain County Sheriff's Office as we stand here today. And that's based upon the numerous complaints, the numerous incident reports. That's for sure.
In both cases, officers reported the force used was reasonable and necessary.
There's some serious matters going on at the jail right now that warrant full attention.
DiCello plans to file his lawsuit in the coming weeks. Meanwhile, the FBI is continuing its own investigation. We should tell you, the jail's Director of Corrections, James Gordon, is Tellier's father-in-law. Sheriff Phil Stamiti declined to be interviewed for our report, but in a written statement, he said his office investigates all complaints equally, whether they're filed against officers or inmates.
Don't worry, the corrupt FBI is going to investigate this corruption. So what's the answer here? Do psychopaths become cops, or do cops become psychopaths? Does power corrupt and absolute power corrupt absolutely, or does power attract the corruptible? Which one is it? Or is it a combination of both? Before I end this video, just remember, this can happen to you and me at any time. When you have power-drunk authoritarians out there, they will do whatever they have to do to exercise and exert their power. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to this channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know. Don't forget to subscribe to my email list or my website, highimpactflix.com. If you want to support the channel further, the links are in the description. Grab a shirt, become a channel member, but whatever you do, stand for your rights, exercise your rights. If you don't use your rights, you will lose your rights. And when freedom is gone, it is all over. I will see you in the next video.
Okay, guys, we're going to kill this. Thanks for everybody who popped in. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you. Go in here. Make up. I'm bad at labeling. I've gotten better at it because I've gone through what you're going through several times. All right. I do now. I'll probably see you guys later tonight from the office. I'll probably use inDOCtriNATION to do my next drive too, the oil change and stuff. Peace. Love you guys.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella bad. After her there ain't no coming back. Wanna take a run at that. I think she's feeling me, turn it up a few degrees. My imagination of her body gets the best of me. Oh gosh, she's such a tease, bitten lips, bruised knees. I'm addicted to her, need her touching me, cause she got a bad little waist. And we tearing down this place, off the liquor that we chase. Casamigos to the face, baby, I don't need no space. Coming closer for a taste, and I'll show you how I make everything just fade away. Cause she's like sex, drugs, cocaine, body so insane. Jealous of the clothing that she wears up on that tight frame. All game, no shame, baby came here to play. I feel like an addict cause she's sex, drugs, cocaine. Got a fine little body and her mind's kinda naughty. They say that once you taste it, you cannot replace it. She could get you high, all the dopamine inside triggers fast once she's naked. Her body's a creation. They say the devil made her for his entertainment, but even he couldn't learn how to contain it. Her high heels make a damn good statement. There is no replacement, a body by Satan. She got a bad little waist, and we tearing down this place. Off the liquor that we chase, Casamigos to the face, baby, I don't need no space. Coming closer for a taste, and I'll show you how I make everything just fade away. Cause she's like sex, drugs,